the bass and the mix and the radio say speed it up. I just go slow. Today we are talking about diversity within the Black American music and
gets all the genres and then just mixes it in Act 3. Like, I would love that.
My favorite part is sneeze on the beat and the beat got sick.
Hey Bestie Bees, it's your girl Desiree.
And it's your girl My Wizzle.
And today we're going to talk about the diversity within Black music and how Beyoncé is an example of that and representation for us, an important figure for that reason.
Yes, period. So, of course, happy Saturday, as always. Now, what song, it could be song of the day, song of the week, song for your mood. What is it?
Right now, I would say cozy. I'm feeling, I didn't want to wear anything too restricting today. I just wanted to be cozy. And I'm wearing my shirt that I got from the CD.
Okay.
She looks so cute in this.
That is really cute.
It's Cowboy Carter. And
it kind of gives 80s.
I know, right? And it says Act 2 on the back. I don't know if y'all can see the back. Do you see it? I don't know, but
I think so. Kind of.
Yeah, it's in small letters. But yeah, I would say cozy,
okay.
comfortable in my skin,
cozy with who I am. I love myself, goddamn cozy.
Yeah. What's your song of the day or what you feeling?
I feel like today, not necessarily matching my mood, but it's just been stuck in my head all morning because it came on randomly. But drop the bass and the mix and the radio say speed it up. I just go slow. It's like minute, never seen a booty like boom, 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 boom. If you know, you know.
Right? That video with Zendaya.
Yes. I love how at the Cowboy Carter event we both did that when the song came on.
Right.
My favorite part is sneeze on the beat and the beat got sick. I
remember that video like it was yesterday, and she just like randomly posted it, I think, and I was like, okay, but why is this like?
It's a mood, especially because she was like passenger seat princess too. It was cute. I loved it.
Yeah, but yes,
so we have a good amount of updates today, and don't mind us. When we're on our phones, we're just looking at our notes.
Yes.
So just be mindful we're not ignoring each other. But let's see. I accidentally scrolled away.
It's okay. I think a couple of the updates are going to be about like where she's at on the charts right now. Yeah.
Well, first of all, today is April 13th, 2024, because we had to add the date on there, and you'll understand why after I explain it. But Beyoncé is the 6th most listened to artist in the world right now. And On Spotify, yes, on Spotify. As far as monthly listeners, and the number 1 is The Weeknd. And Taylor Swift is actually number 2.
Shout out to them.
And the reason why we're adding the date is because last week when we made the video, she was at number 8. But when the video got posted, a lot of people were correcting us that she was actually number 6. So when we post this, if that's not the case anymore, just know we're on the same page.
We're on the Beehive. We all love Beyonce, and we want to see her go to number 1. So I hope this encourages y'all to listen to her on Spotify, So her youngest daughter, Rumi?
I think it's Rumi.
Rumi is the youngest charting female artist in Hot 100 history. So yay her. We love little Rumi. I love seeing her daughters, I don't know, like anytime with any of her children. And seeing them charting the charts. I don't know. Beyonce scores 3 entries in the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100 with Cowboy Carter, with Texas Hold'em, Second Most Wanted, featuring Miley Cyrus and Jolene. And she's reached the number 1 in the following charts. So Hot 100 songwriters, Hot 100 producers, country songwriters, country producers. Yeah, she is really getting into it with,
literally.
And especially it's crazy to me to think like with this album, she's already broke records already with it, or being like the first Black woman to be number 1 on the country charts and everything like that. So, really inspirational. And then, now it's like going into our predictions of Act 3.
Okay. I don't know. Honestly, I'm kind of like, just because the more I learned about like this album, I'm kind of like, my predictions are, I want to say like they're kind of becoming non-existent, just because you know, we had to talk about like Cowboy Carter being, well, we, of course, first of all, we were assuming, a lot of people are assuming that Act 3 is going to be rock, because she's been like reclaiming like black genres. But then there was an article, I want to say it was by like Rolling Stone or some big like music publication, where they talked about how Cowboy Carter is actually just as rock as it is country. And then also, you know, Beyonce never really does, we don't know anything until she wants us to know it. So I think even with Act 2, we only started assuming it was country when she started popping out in country attire. Yeah, and I think that's when it was like safe to assume. So, you know, we'll see. Maybe after, if she goes on tour, maybe she'll pop out in some inspired looks, and then we'll think of like, okay, what can it be? You have any predictions though?
I have hopes. So like how you're saying, like I don't have evidence or predictions, but I saw on TikTok like someone's like, what if Beyonce like does a plot twist and she comes out with a reggae album, you know? And I wouldn't be mad about that. And then someone made a Brazilian funk remix to Spaghetti, and I was like, I would get down with that. Like just hearing Beyonce and reggae or Brazilian funk or dembo, which I really like that. Dembo is a genre in the Dominican Republic, or really popular down there, and started in the DR. So I would really like to hear that as well, just because that's the kind of music that I like to listen to from time to time. And most recently, I'm getting more into reggae. So, or dancehall, you know, if Beyonce were to like revisit that, I wouldn't be mad, you know, if that was like,
same.
Or she just gets all the genres and then mixes it in Act 3. Like I would love that. We would get got everything.
I really want a rap album.
Album. Same. If she just did a whole rap album, I wouldn't be mad. If it was just her.
Like how for
somebody.
How for Cowboy Carter, she was like, it came out of an experience of not being accepted. It was a whole thing at one point when Trina said that, like who really opened. Someone asked Trina like in an interview who opened doors for female in rap, and she said Beyonce.
No, for real.
And she was like, Beyonce is a singer, but when she raps, she really raps, and that went over a lot of people's heads. So I'm like, you know, if she if she like heard the interview or it came back to her, I hope she does like, if not a whole album, of course, but maybe just like a full out song of just her rapping ass off. Yeah,
I would love that. But okay, no hate, but don't have Jay-Z on it, please. I love Jay-Z, but I just want Beyonce. I feel like anytime she does anything with rap, like Jay-Z has to come on it, but I'm like, you don't have to, just because he's a rapper and he's your husband. Like, and no disrespect to Jay-Z, and I actually love his album 444. That's when I got into him, so I'm a little late probably to like the Jay-Z fandom, but I do like him on that album.
Okay. Even in
I just want Beyonce.
Yeah.
Just her.
Or even her just like maybe even collaborating with some other like rappers too.
She has with Megan Thee Stallion already.
Yeah, that's true. Megan, I know she has a song with Drake, but they're not really, neither of them are rapping on the song. But she was on Travis Scott's album too. But like she has songs with rappers, but she's never like really rapping with them.
She's singing. Real. Yeah. Maybe like singing rap singing.
Yeah. We'll see though. That would be cool.
Yeah. I was like, so I just have like hopes for like what I like to see in Act 3, but I'm pretty sure whatever she gives us, I'm gonna love it. Yeah. Just like with this Act 2 or just the whole entire act. So I'm just like, it's Beyonce, so I'm gonna love it anyways. All the acts. You know, but I think now we can get into talking about our experience yesterday at the Dangerously in Love listening party. Much fun. I loved it too. Do you want to go first? Or like your experience?
So it was definitely a lot of fun. I feel like there was something I learned that I didn't think about before. Or maybe it was like the hip opera.
Oh.
That I thought that was cool. I didn't know that was something that she had did before that I would like to see. Something that I thought was really cool that they talked about was that Dangerously in Love was supposed to come out in 2002, but at the time when it was supposed to originally be released, Kelly Rowland was like blowing up with Dilemma, and she decided to like push her album back so Kelly could have her moment. And I'm just like, wow, like, you know, sometimes when people they get older and that's when the humbleness starts to come. Like, she's always been humble since day one. Yeah, what did you like? How was your experience last night?
I love the experience of so Dangerous in Love is definitely like one of my top 3 albums that I love by Beyonce. So to go to that listening party, it's like, yes, I still get that. Like, it was out, what was it, in 2003 it came out. So I'm, what is it now, 2024, 11 years later, and they're still having listening parties about it. So I really like that experience of getting
21 years
21
later.
years. Oh my gosh, yes, because my sister's turning 21 and she's born in 2003. That's how I keep track of the time.
It was a while ago. That's how long crazy. Her career is.
Yeah, I guess one thing I like that the host there that they pointed out was and shout out to them. I know one of the hosts' name was Freddie.
Yeah. Her DJ name is Mini Skirt, and then the other girl that was hosting, she's also a DJ. Her name's Midi Ripperton.
Okay, yeah. So shout out to them. They really gave us a lot of gems and fun facts about the album that I really liked and I didn't even know about. And I really liked how they pointed out that Beyonce will always let you know that she's a Virgo. And I love Virgo women because even going back to like how she waited for Kelly's or let Kelly have her moment with Dilemma and push back her release date with Dangerously in Love. Yeah. I'm just like, wow, like she really always been from like an early age because she was in her young 20s and she was always supportive of her sisters and Kelly, Michelle, Solange and everything, and how she really is a girl's girl. I feel like women supporting women, she's always been like that. And I just feel like that's very Virgo too. I'm a Capricorn, so I feel like me and Virgos, I'm just like, I see you, you see me, and right. I love their presence and everything, and how they're supportive of others and want to see others succeed. And I just love being there with all the other Beyonce lovers and us listening to her. And there was some songs that I was like, I couldn't wait to sing, which was like Speechless, Me, Myself, and I, Be With You. Oh, yeah. I know you were like, you couldn't wait for Me, Myself, and I.
Yes, that was my song. No, so there's a video that I got on my story where I'm like showing the whole crowd, and then she hops in the video and she's like going crazy like, I'm my own best friend. And so the people that throw the event are Slow Jams Gallery, and they're reposting all the videos on their Instagram story that they're tagged in, and someone caught like the behind the scenes point of view of me recording her in that moment, and it's hilarious. It's so funny. Maybe I'll add it on this video so y'all can see like both perspectives.
No, for real. I feel like, oh dang, did I ruin their video?
That would be so funny. I was going in. That was hilarious. Like, I feel like because we got front row seats, the people that were behind us, I feel like it was maybe their first time. Because when they were leaving, they were like, oh, it was nice meeting you, blah, blah, blah. But I noticed like the whole time they were kind of like just sitting down. So I'm wondering if they're just watching us like, because we were going crazy the whole time.
Actually, there's with Speechless, when I got, it was me and you, yeah, and I could tell a little bit in the back, the people, they were just like kind of sitting, like listening to it more. Yeah. So I'm like, dang, like, was I annoying them? Like, sorry, y'all. Sorry, but I mean, you knew what you was signing up for. We was going there to sing along to the album, so you were supposed to do that, not just sit there. Right. But I mean, do you? But I got into, cause I love that song, and I actually like when she performs it live, or when she did perform it live, she sits like on a kiss shaped couch, and she's like,
Oh my gosh, wait. Is it red on the inside? Yeah. Okay, so I just happened to come across that picture on Twitter today, and I didn't know it was from the album, but somebody captioned it like when they like in quotes like you can't be gay from birth, and then it was like me in the womb, and it's that picture. Oh my gosh, yes. But no, that was so much fun. Those events are always really fun because, well, first of all, it's like high quality professional technology to be able to listen to the music like how the artist actually intended for you to hear it. Like you hear things in the music in that environment that you don't hear in your headphones or you don't hear in your car or from your speaker, which I really like. But then it's also cool because you're just around people who appreciate like the album as much as you do, you know?
Yeah.
But then it's also a cool way to experience music, like if you've never even, if it's for an album that you never like just heard, period, too. But yeah, I love it.
So it was a really good event. I'm really glad we went. Even the fit I wore, it was crazy and love inspired. So
yes,
I really, cute. I was like, what am I doing too much? But I'm like, no, like I'm a big Beyonce fan, so I'm gonna come ready. Okay, you're gonna see me
for sure.
Don't be mind me because I do what I do.
Yes. So today we are talking about diversity within the like Black American music and just overall why Black artists shouldn't be placed in a box. And this is of course like coming from just maybe a little bit of the scrutiny that Beyonce has gotten from stepping into country. Even though when we look back at like her discography and music she's done, she's definitely been in the country space. But this is like the first time where she like really fully leaned into it. But I think now that we've been sitting with Cowboy Carter for like a couple weeks or so, this isn't just a country album. I think it's country. It has country music, but there's a lot of different sounds on this album for sure. And I think that's the point she was trying to get at, is that, you know, it's a Beyonce album.
Yeah, because even in the caption on Instagram before she released Cowboy Carter, she mentioned that she did a lot of blending and bending genres in this album. And so it's not just country. You hear like soul, folk, you hear R&B and opera, you know?
Right.
So I really like how she went for that diversity within the album. And also I feel like giving a new sound to country, you know, like making it her own, like her own Beyonce sound as she does.
Yeah, you know? Exactly. And I think just starting off, before we even like recognize that there is diversity within Black music, there's just diversity within Black people in general. And I think sometimes, especially, well, maybe not so much like today's day and age, but maybe like 20 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago, with like mainstream media and things like that, like Black people were kind of looked at in a certain way, or there's like, you know, a lot of like stereotypes. Of course, a lot of ethnicities kind of deal with that, but you know, we're Black, so we're speaking to that. But you know, just Black people are different as far as like economic background and like class, you know, location, even like location as far as like where you were born. If you're from the South, you're from the West Coast, you're gonna be different, of course. Even just like your background, there's Black people who have parents that are like immigrants from other places and they grew up in America. And then just overall experience in general, like where you grew up, despite everything else, just of course has an effect on you. If you grew up sorry, your experiences and your upbringings is what I was trying to say. Just overall, like your family dynamics, you know, there's a lot that goes into why Black people are so diverse within our community. For sure.
Yeah. And I think even with like Beyonce's representation of that. With like all the genres she's done, from like hip opera. She did that as well, like a movie in hip opera. I think it's called Carmen, or I forgot the name of it. And we were so young when it came out. I do remember watching the movie, but like not like a vivid memory. But she did that, funk, soul, what else was there? So just to show the example of Beyonce's like diversity in music, she's done R&B, soul, funk, pop, rap, like even like rap singing with Destiny's Child, and hip hop and opera, dance hall, Spanish, Afro beats. The Spanish ones?
Yeah.
They were like with the was it Mi Gente? Mm-hmm. I forgot who was with J Balvin.
I think so.
Yeah,
I'm not too sure.
Azul, are you with me? Yeah. Uno, dos, tres, I think. She did Afro beats, rock, now country, and everything. Dance music. House music. I don't know why I'm saying dance music.
Because it makes you want to dance.
It do makes me want to bow. But yeah, she's done all of it. And like Afrobeats with Black is King, or the Gift, I think that's what the album was called, for the Lion King track.
Oh yeah.
Soul and funk with Be With You. That actually is one of my favorite songs by her. I want to be with you. Well,
yeah, that's a good one.
Or even like an example of her rap singing is in Bugaboo that she did with Destiny's Child. And I think there's even an interview that Jay-Z mentions it because it really impressed him. He's never heard someone rap sing before. And I think Beyonce said that in an interview as well. Like, they just always kind of naturally done that in Destiny's Child. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know if they're the first ones to do it or the pioneers, but definitely, like, it was part of their sound. Yeah. And I think what made them different than other groups before. Actually, no, I think it was a rap group. Before Destiny's Child, it was called Girls Time. And I think they were a rap group like in the late 80s or something, like when they first started.
Okay.
Or something like that. I remember I don't know if you ever saw that video of the guy introducing them, like the girl rapping Girls Time, and then they it's the intro of I'm on that age. Oh, coming down. Oh, that one song with Beyonce. What is it called? No, I want to get it right. Bow Down. It's in the beginning of Bow Down, I think, where she takes that audio of them being introduced as a rap group.
Okay.
And everything. So Beyonce's been rapping since a kid.
Right.
You know.
Wow, that's very true.
Yeah, but here we go.
Yeah, what other?
So she's done it all.
For sure. Which is why I kind of think it's interesting that there was so much like controversy of her like coming out with this album, and like a lot of people I don't want to say the majority, but some people were saying like this isn't country, but that's
I actually don't like I think what I have an issue with is the critic or the critique of Beyonce not being country herself.
Yeah. Not
her music. It's like they're personally attacking her for not being country, but I'm like, she was born and raised in Houston.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Which that's the point I was trying to get to, is like, dang, I forgot it.
That's okay.
Because she does so many different genres, and she taps into different genres and things like that. And I think country was just one where like this is the era that she's in right now, and that's what she's passionate about. But I don't understand why it was such a big deal, because she's already done that. Like we said what Dangerously in Love was 21 years ago, and even Dangerously in Love itself had so many different dynamics in it. So yeah, that's just I just think it's funny that it was like so much like outrage and stuff, and she herself said this isn't a country album, this is a Beyonce album. And so I just think it's funny because clearly that's not like what she was going for. But when you look back at her career, like this is what she does.
But yeah, so that going through Beyonce's catalog, it's just evidence that she hasn't always stick to just one genre, but you know, a lot of people do tend to just box her in. And maybe not even for like bad reasons. It's just, oh, she's known for this, you know, or I know Beyonce from this album or from this sound. So it might be a little different to hear her going to somewhere else. Especially if like their favorite artist just stuck to one thing, or that's how they interpret music, is like this artist is known for this, you know, and then if I want rap, I'm gonna go to this artist. If I want R&B, I'm gonna go to this artist. But I like how Beyonce just shows that no, you don't have to stick to just one. And like Black people are not a monolith. You know, I'm not just gonna do R&B because I'm Black. You know, I can do other things as well.
Right, exactly. And then that kind of goes into like what we're touching on next about just breaking stereotypes through music experimentation. And like I think Beyonce is a good example of someone who she's never like wanted to fit in like a certain box. And I think for a long time she hasn't just done she hasn't ever really just done like one genre. And she's a good example of some like an artist that other like up and coming artists can like look up to and go to for that, because they shouldn't have to be put in a box because of a certain way that they look or where they come from and things like that. And I do remember I think it was like, I can't remember what year of the Grammys it was, but Doja Cat got a Grammy for like best R&B song with "Kiss Me More." And when you really listen to that song, it's not R&B.
Oh, what is it?
Yeah, it's not an R&B song.
I feel it kind of sounds more poppy.
Yeah,
like a pop.
And there was a lot of controversy behind it because, like even just that album in general, like it was very much like she was rapping. There was a lot of, again, like kind of like what we're saying with Beyonce. It was a lot of different genres on that album, and it was kind of getting labeled as R&B because, like, of course, Doja Cat is a Black woman, and I think that's the point a lot of people were trying to make. But that song was like very poppy. But even like other songs on the album, she was rapping, she was singing, she even maybe even got into like some alternative.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm kind of bad at even categorizing genre. Like when I hear, or genres. So when I hear a song and if someone were to ask me what genre this is, sometimes I'm like, I don't know, because it doesn't sound like just one thing, or it kind of sounds like a new sound or a mixture of sounds. So I don't really know where to place it. And I honestly don't really care. Like if I like a song and it sounds good, I don't really care what genre it comes from. I just like music. And I think if you really just like music for music, you're not going to really care about the genre, or it's not going to be that deep. I feel like it's only deep when, or matters when it comes to like the industry of how they categorize things and like how they place awards. Like, oh, you get award for this, for R&B, or for, I never liked the term urban. I think they have a category for that. Like urban, the best urban alternative album. I don't know. And I'm like, what does that mean? You know?
Right. It basically means Black.
Yeah. They don't want to be racist. They're like, we're just gonna put urban.
Yeah. And I definitely agree, and I think that's why Beyonce is someone that's like really just an inspiration for that. And we do see a lot more artists kind of like tapping into that too, and that's why I use Doja Cat as an example, because she has a lot of hits that like you couldn't put them all in like one place. But yeah, it kind of just I guess with that, it kind of just gives like just how there is like stereotypes and like Black people are put in a box. It's like the same thing when it comes to like music and artistry. And so I feel like, you know, a lot artists that are like pushing those boundaries and things like that are kind of like going against what those stereotypes are, because just because you're a Black artist doesn't mean that you do R&B, hip hop, rap. You know, I can even remember like an interview from like back in the day, when Kehlani was up and coming, she said she used to always get asked like, "Are you a rapper?"
Because of
Because
her
of all her
tattoos.
tattoos,
Yeah.
yeah. And like she said that she would get that like literally all the time when she would tell people like she was in the music industry. And then when you think of like who she is now, and she's like so soft, and even though she is like more of an R&B artist, I just think it's funny how like people can like look at you and just kind of assume like, oh, like this is what you do.
Oh yeah, just use like phenotypes, or not, yeah, I guess, no, not phenotypes, your physical appearance of like, oh, you must listen to this music or you must make this kind of music. Even I've been asked if I can sing, and I'm like, why do you think I can sing? I can't. I wish I would love to learn, or love to have to been
Right.
blessed with that, but no, I don't really sing like that. And I really want to say it was like a minute ago, like one of my first jobs I've had, that I think my coworker kind of like tied it to my race. Like, oh yeah, a lot of black people can sing, in the churches or whatever. And so she's, I don't know, I think she started asking me like what church I go to, whatever. And I'm like, I don't even go to those type of churches, or like I'm not in the choir like that. Like, actually, I kind of was growing up, but it was just for fun. I wasn't like getting solos, like,
Yeah.
I can't do that. Um,
Wait,
but
that's kind of
yeah,
crazy.
no, it is that people just assume, not even
Yeah.
just with music, but just, it's, sometimes I'm like flabbergasted of just what people think about others' appearances. But also I wanna, because I don't wanna point fingers at other people. I don't want to point fingers at other people. Like, I don't do it, because I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I do catch myself putting labels on people, or even on myself.
Yeah.
But I think now I'm at a place where I can take a step back and like, wait, no, that person, I don't know, I might come across a white man, and I'm like, he probably don't know nothing about Beyonce, and then he's like the biggest Beyonce fan I ever met,
You
so
know,
you never know.
some of the TikToks have
Mhm.
made me feel like that too. Like I've
Mhm.
experienced that where like I guess it does go the other way around too. There'll be some people and they'll, you know how like on TikTok it'll be like an attention getter and you think they're about to
Mhm.
say something bad, and then I'll
Mhm.
be watching a TikTok and it's like, oh, actually he's on like our side. Like
Oh
he's on
yeah.
like he's
He's
actually trying to educate people
he's
about
sticking up
like
for
this
us.
album and stuff, but like just me seeing him or her or whoever it is
Mhm.
like doing the TikTok, it's like I'm already having a preconceived like idea of what they're about to say or what their opinion is about to
Yeah.
be too. So yeah, I think it's definitely something we all just naturally
Yeah.
do for sure.
And it's not surprising. I mean, we also have to think about it. We were like, at least for us, we were born in America. In America, there's a lot of stereotypes about one another. Like, we're kind of
Yeah.
just brought up, that's like within the culture,
Yeah.
long history, and that's the whole other conversation. But so I think we all
Right.
have biases against one another and everything. I think the difference is it's when it turns into like racist and like negative stereotypes of
Yeah.
like, oh, you're like this, and like you're degrading others based off of their race or
Yeah.
what they look like. Once you start getting into that territory, it's like, all right, like you need to like educate yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
But if it's just like other things where you don't mean harm, it's just that's just how you were brought up, or
Right. It's like
you know
natural to be ignorant to some
yeah,
things.
to some things. And I think it's even a big difference when you're able to or willing to correct yourself, or to be more open-minded of like, oh, you know what, maybe I need to think twice about that, about before
Yeah.
judging someone of maybe they're not going to get a culture reference because they don't look like me,
Right.
or they don't listen to the same music. Because I've had that before. Even a coworker, I was trying to explain like a hairstyle I wanted, and she's like, "God is praised," and she's not black, and I'm like, "Yeah, how you know that? How you know the terms?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So it kind of was a learning lesson for me of like, oh, like people do educate themselves on other people's cultures.
Yeah. Right.
And it was refreshing, I that like someone else got my reference, or I didn't have to, I don't know, like not code switch or just feel like awkward talking about it. And I'm like, and they're like, oh yeah, like they think they know what I'm talking about, but they don't, or they just like in agreement, even though they're like, I have no idea what this woman's talking about, but I'm just gonna shake my head, you know. But she knew. So just things like that makes me realize more about no. It just makes me realize that you know, I also have biases, and you know, but you know, I try to learn from them.
Yeah, I think the important thing is that, like you said, just being educated, and I don't think it's harmful to ask questions either, as long as it's in like a respectful way, you know. But yeah, since we're like, you know, Beyonce is a big example of like just pushing those stereotypes and boundaries and getting outside of the box. Like, how do you think, like, especially with just what she's been doing with like Renaissance and house music, and then Cowboy Carter and leaning into the country, how do you think this is going to affect artists, like up and coming artists in the future?
Ooh, I was just thinking about that earlier and I forgot, so I'm glad you brought it up again. But I was thinking, or I just was having hopes that I hope that what she's doing now also can trickle down and help upcoming artists go into any genre they want to, or mix and blend genres, and not have to wait 20 years in their career to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and they can just do it now or right when they start and be known for that and not put into a box. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hope that that's what it does for young artists, and that it sticks, because I feel like sometimes when like conversations like this are started, or an artist like Beyonce is like trying to break barriers, or invite more people in, basically just have like for us to get a seat at the table as well.
Yeah.
I hope it continues and it's just not in this moment and then people forget about it, and then the same things happen, you know, because I forgot what video I saw it from. I feel like I keep saying that. I forgot where I saw this from. I forgot where I heard that from. But I feel like I watch so much content sometimes, especially like Beyonce, that I forget who says it. So and I want to give people their credit, you know, and everything. So I don't know, even if you are listening and you can know who I'm talking about, you know, comment it as that as well. Know. But actually no, I think it was this YouTuber I listened to or watch. They go by the name Herbie Revolves or something like that. And I feel like they were saying in their video that they hope as well that this isn't just like something cute now in the moment and then it goes away and people are still having to defend what genre they're in, or have to justify why they want to do this, why they want to be in country, you know, and things like that. And it's just not a one-time thing, you know.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way too. I hope I really wanted to just push people to take their time with music, because every single song on this album is just so dynamic as far as like different qualities and how it sounds, like the vocals, the instrumentation, everything is just so like it's very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not simple. You get what I'm trying to say? It's not just the same beat, the same background, and just her singing over it. It's like so many different parts of like the instruments and how she uses her voice, and it's just it's really, really dynamic. It's complex. Yeah, that's the word. It's complex.
Oh, like, so how Beyonce uses her voice as an instrument as well.
Yeah. Like everything has a purpose, and we talked about it last week, how she kind of gets backlash because people are like, oh, she has all these writing credits, but when you hear the music, it's like there's so many different components to it, and it makes sense of why there's those credits. And just because also I think it's important that she's even just giving people credit, even if it is like a small portion that they're adding to the music. But
I actually think what might make the list so long is if you sample a song, you also have to credit the original people who were on that song.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, so if you like a small little like snippet of it, or a small portion of the song that was sampled, but you have to give credit to who you sampled and then who were their songwriters.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that part for sure too. But no, I really just hope it just makes, because I feel like where Beyonce is in her career, she's not making mainstream music anymore. She's just so popular and just so brilliant to the point where it kind of like happens like that anyway.
She is the mainstream.
Yeah, like even just using TikTok for example, like there's songs that kind of like you can maybe even tell that the artist was leaning into it for it to be a TikTok song. But Beyonce has songs going up on TikTok where I'm pretty sure when she was in the studio, she wasn't thinking about what can go viral or what people are going to be able to make a dance to and stuff.
Sweet Honey Buckin' is one of those.
Yeah, she's just
bucket. I'm trying to learn the dance, okay, so we can TikTok.
Right. I'm even seeing one for Two Hands to Heaven too. It's like
oh my god, tell you what, I wanted to do that.
I'm like, wait.
I wanted to actually do that video today. I was gonna think about it, but because I have like that bodysuit like they do, and I wanted to try and recreate it, but I wanted to be more cozy today. But I'm like, I want to recreate that video because that was so funny.
Yeah, but like things like that, like that song is over 5 minutes long. Like that wasn't supposed to be a TikTok song. No. It's just so good. The kids are bringing it to TikTok. So I just, I hope it makes people really think, and we talked about it too at Renaissance. Like this is. Like, if she can do it, you can do it too. And I hope people and artists, everyone in general, just sees what she's doing and thinking, like, I can do better. I can step this up, regardless of what it is.
And not limit
especially in music.
Oneself or limit others,
Yeah, exactly. But to get a little more personal, is there any experience or, like, interest or you feel like maybe you've been put in a box, or maybe even things you've done or interested in, experiences where you like got outside of the box too?
Yeah, I was thinking about this, and I feel like I had to think about it for a little bit because I'm like, there's some things I'm like, wait, I did do that. Like, I'm a tall black girl and I did play basketball, so people put me into that box. I'm like, I sure did. I played basketball majority of my youth, but I can remember like growing up, I had like my music taste. I liked a little bit of rock, I grew up playing Guitar Hero, and maybe even that, like when it comes to playing video games, I don't know, people might think, oh, as a black girl, I played, what are those games? Well, I don't know, but like black people video games, I don't know. Even I don't know the stereotypes. I think that's actually sometimes what makes this question kind of hard, because I'm like, what do people think I'm into? Like, what are the stereotypes? Because I don't think about that. I'm just like, I like this, I'm gonna do it. But I guess if I get myself in that mindset, people might think I was into, like, I don't know, basketball, like 2K, NBA 2K, NBA, I don't know the name, of the basketball game, which I did play like street football video games.
Okay.
Honestly, in street basketball.
This is my first time hearing that you played video games.
Oh, really?
Too, so I'm even like, that may be something that surprises people.
Yes, I played video games. I played a Mafia video game. GTA. I feel like people might assume like, if I am a black gamer, I like GTA or something. I don't know, because it was I think I played the one both based in Miami and in LA.
Okay.
But I used to play Guitar Hero a lot of the times, and a lot of the songs on there are from like the 70s and 80s rock band groups, and I loved a lot of their songs on there. I think a popular one is known as not California Love, Hotel California, like welcome to the Hotel California. So, and I love that one. I loved Hate Myself for Loving You, Cherry Bomb. I used to always play I would play video games like anytime I came home from school or during the summer. Swim. I learned how to swim as a kid, and a lot of people don't think black people can swim, but I can swim,
Yeah.
But yeah, there's other things as well that I have to think about a little bit more. But what about yourself?
So I definitely do not like reality TV. And I think that's something that, you know, maybe some people kind of assume. Like I've never really got into like Real Housewives. I never really got into Love and Hip Hop and stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Jocelyn Hernandez down. Like I'm familiar with people that are on those shows, but I'm not into it, and I think those are really big shows. I feel like in our community that
Bad Girls Club or Baddies Now. I'm like, I can't watch this, y'all. Like, come on, we can do better than this. Come on,
right? So that's probably a place where it's like maybe we might be put in that box, and I'm not necessarily fitting in there because that's not my interest. Something that I feel like maybe I personally thought I was outside of the box with that I'm learning as I get older is kind of regular, but I'm a big Harry Potter fan. And I think as a kid, and maybe even like as a teenager, I used to think like, oh, Black people don't really like are not into Harry Potter. That was just my assumption because there's there's not a lot of Black people in the films and things like that. But as I've gotten older and someone asks like, what's your favorite movie? And I'll say Harry Potter. I get really surprised when I learn that the other person also likes Harry Potter too. So maybe that's the stereotype I have against
people don't
Black
watch,
people.
Black people don't watch Harry Potter. Mine was Twilight. I loved Edward.
Oh yes, I love Twilight too. yeah, that was a big one. But I think music wise too, same. Like I do love classic rock. I have been in places where it's like I actually do remember it was like Halloween weekend and one of my friends from the Bay came to visit and we had like plans for that weekend, but that Friday, like I was so much going on, I didn't have anything for us to do. So I was like, okay, we could just go to Hollywood and bar hop. But you know, Hollywood is so versatile. Like you can step into somewhere and the next place next door, completely different vibes. So we went to this like speakeasy that was like when you walk through a refrigerator and it's like a 70s basement, like low ceilings, wallpaper, shag carpet, like it really, we were a little tipsy. I remember thinking like, whoa, it feels like we time travel.
But who are these girls going in here?
So one of my friends was like kind of, her and this guy was dancing and the friend got left with like me and my other friend and we're conversating with him and like he was actually surprised to learn that I knew some of the songs that were playing and like we were even getting into artists and we were saying like, oh, we like Elton John and like things like that, and he didn't really say he was surprised, but I could tell like he's not like, and honestly just the vibe I was getting from him, like he's not someone like if I were to see him anywhere else, like we really wouldn't maybe like interact like that, like you know, at a grocery store or something, but it was just the circumstances of that situation where we were really having a conversation about music. So I think sometimes my music taste, I do get a little outside of the box, but as far as things that I'm stereotypical in, this sounds like silly, but like literally chicken wings is my favorite.
I do love me some chicken.
And that is a stereotype.
I'm always putting hot sauce on my food.
Yes. What's watermelon? When I meet Black people that don't love watermelon, I do judge them a little bit. I'm sorry, y'all. That's just my truth.
But I feel like in California, we put tahini on it a lot.
Yeah.
At some limit. Especially I do that with cucumbers or any fruit.
Ooh, some mango.
Ooh, that sounds good right now.
Mango cup.
Actually, speaking of growing up in California, there was this one song that I loved, and it was, I think, called Sweater. Oh my God. Sweater weather. Like, it's too cold for you here. Yes. And I think I saw a TikTok of like, man, if you was Black growing up in California, this was a bop. This was a slapper. And I'm like, I love that song because when he says, California, my toes in the sand. I'm like, ooh, I live in California. And I'm just like, I love that song. And anytime I like mention that song to one of my Black friends who are not from California, they're like, you was listening to this? I'm like, no, you had to be here in California back in, what was it, 2013, 14 or that time. That was a bob. Like everybody was listening to that song, and it's like one of those like nostalgic songs for me.
Right.
You know, of growing up in California and everything.
Yeah, and maybe that's why it's kind of hard for us to really think about like what are the stereotypes people may have, because we had the privilege of growing up somewhere where it's like literally a melting pot.
Yeah, you know? That's true.
We've always been like really immersed in like different cultures, and one thing about California, you can get food from anywhere.
Yeah, except for soul food. Y'all hate to hate on California soul food, but
right, but we have it, and we do. That's the thing.
We have Fix and Size Night. I think it's good. I don't care what y'all say. Okay.
Right, but like, where else can you go and you can get like any kind of like diverse amounts of like food besides California? Maybe New York, but you know.
Yeah. I like to go to New York because they have a lot of Caribbean or like Miami. I feel like they have like Cuban food.
It's different kind of people, but
yeah.
Y'all can't tell us nothing about Mexican food.
Right. Okay, because I think when I went to New Orleans, they had something called illegal burrito. I said, y'all ain't right for that. Y'all ain't right for that. Y'all make fun of us for putting avocado or guacamole on everything.
Right.
But how can you not have that? Like, come on now.
So I forgot what, I want to say it might have been a Breakfast Club interview. I'm not sure. Anybody knows, let us know. But it's this interview, and it's Keke Palmer when she was like maybe in her early 20s. It was an old one. But she talked about, like, she's reminiscing on when she kind of first moved to California. And she said that she remembered thinking, like, damn, like, why all the black people making tacos? Like, they talking about some Taco Tuesday. Like, it's like, no, bitch, nobody makes soul food. Like, and it's like, wow.
California.
Right. Like, tacos is a staple in every household. Everybody loves tacos. But I thought that was so funny because she's from the Midwest. So, coming here, like, damn, like, black people be making tacos too?
No, I feel like it's a go-to food. Like, you'll never fail with tacos. I live by like multiple taco stands. Like, I go drive down, I can find taco. Actually, there's one in my neighborhood, like legit in my neighborhood that I can walk to. There's one by 7-Eleven right where, actually there's a lot by 7-Elevens. They'd be posted up. But I mean, I think that even speaks to us actually being half Mexican. Like, true. You know, there's a difference as well. And maybe influences our interests, because I grew up listening to Selena Quintanilla a lot.
Same.
And other Spanish music. I think that's why I'm interested in like reggaeton, dembow. I hope I'm saying that right.
I think you're saying it right.
What's her name? Takeshi or not Takeshi? Takesha.
Yeah.
I love me some Takesha. I love me some LFA. I think that's his name. And other like artists from the DR or PR, and so I feel like people might think, she only speaks English, so maybe she might just listen to English speaking songs. But I'm like, no, I will listen to even Brazilian Portuguese, like Brazilian funk music. A lot of I listen to a lot of that at the gym. So like dembow and Brazilian funk. If y'all need like a little boost in your step at the gym, listen to that. Like, you can find playlists on YouTube. And it gets you hyped, you know, to go to the gym. So
yeah,
I like it as well.
And I think just us talking about like our experience and thinking about it now, like being in California definitely does have a big effect on like our interests and our background and things like that too. So, you know, we're not music artists, but of course that has an effect. So someone from like different places, people from different places and backgrounds and things like that are always going to make music that's geared towards like their experiences and who they are. And so they shouldn't have to be, again, placed in that box to where they feel like, oh, I'm a black woman, I have to do R&B, even though maybe they grew up listening to like rock music. They should be able to express that without scrutiny. If we lived in a perfect world, that's how it would be. But
and even if like I think we could say like, oh, don't care what other people think. and I think that's a big thing too. Like, don't care what other people think and do you, but it also is very real that sometimes it can get to you, like how people judge you, and sometimes you might not want to share a part of you because you just don't want to hear the negativity, you know, or give that part of yourself to somebody to just judge, you know.
Right.
And there was something I was gonna say and I forgot, and I hate when I do that. Dang, it was really good too. I swear. I'm gonna remember it. But dang. Why do I always do this? I gotta write this down. And I do. We actually have notes and I'd still be forgetting to put it on the notes. But I think I wanted to say just how we are not a monolith. You know, not one group of people are a monolith. And I think sometimes we even need to tell our own community that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it could be your own people. And I'm like, man, like, come on now. Like, don't do us like that. You know, we're not all the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, but I also just like to focus on the love and just the different parts of the culture. You know, you go to the South, you're going to get something different versus the Midwest, East Coast, West Coast. In America, you know, you're going to see the difference within the Black community, as you know, and everything like that. And I love all of it. You know, I think all of it should be embraced, celebrated, and no limits on it. And I think that's what Beyonce's trying to shine a light on, you know, with the world. And I think she's even said that with some of her speeches, that she just wants to shine a light on the beauty of Blackness.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it. Did you have any last thoughts?
I feel like I do, but we're going to be here for another hour if I keep talking.
Right. Well,
yeah, actually, I think I do. Because I always I wanted to tie it back to like a bigger message or something, like for our episodes, or like just my intentions behind having these conversations. I feel like for this episode, I just really hope people feel inspired to just not limit themselves and feel restricted of like just like their everyday life of like if you find something interesting, you know, go and do it. And people are gonna, it's like you're damn if you do, damn if you don't, you know. If you do it, people are gonna say something, and if you don't do it, people are gonna say something. But I feel like don't let that stop you from doing what you enjoy or what you find interest in. And I really say that because I feel like I've experienced that, and it's not so recent, where I feel like I've given myself permission to explore more of my interest. Or I feel like what I'm about to say is just so basic and just like a no-brainer, but just like life experiences, you know, to just experience the experiences.
Yeah. Be who you are.
Be who you
and be who you want. No, there's this quote I've had stuck with me since middle school. My music teacher had it like up on the board for like the whole 2 years I was at the middle school, but it was be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind.
Ooh. See, that's what I was trying to say, wrapped into one little quote. So what she said is what I was trying to say.
Yes. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. If you made it this far, again, we appreciate the love and support. Be sure to rate this episode if you liked it. Give us a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube, and follow us on Instagram so you can get into the teas of the teas.
And threads.
Us. Yes,
because
threads.
The threads
for sure. And also we always have like questions that are tied to the episode, so leave us an answer to your opinion on how you feel of like maybe how Beyonce is just affecting and changing Black music as a whole. And yeah, thank you guys. Yes. Bye.
See you next time.